Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you, depending where you are in the world. I hope you all had a good and blessed and restful Sabbath. Mine was very restful. We're doing the devotion, nighttime devotion from the devotional Christ Triumphant. The title today, Inner Character Revealed in Actions. Genesis 39, 7-9. His master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said unto his master's wife, "How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" Joseph, in the providence of God, was deprived of his happy home and the teachings and example of his God-fearing father, and his lot was cast in a family of dark heathen. There his virtue was severely tested. It is always a critical period in a young man's life when he is separated from home influences and wise counsels and enters upon new scenes and trying tests. God was with Joseph in his new home. He was in the path of duty, suffering wrong, but not doing wrong. He therefore had the love and the protection of God, for he carried his religious principles into everything he undertook. What a difference there was in Joseph's case and the case of young people who apparently forced their way into the very field of the enemy, exposing themselves to the fierce assaults of Satan. Joseph suffered for righteousness' sake, while the trials of others are on their own procuring. Joseph did not conceal his religion or manly piety to avoid persecution. The Lord prospered Joseph, but in the midst of his prosperity came the darkest adversity. The wife of his master was a licentious woman, one who urged his steps to take hold on hell. Would Joseph yield his moral gold of character to the seductions of a corrupt woman? Would he remember that the eye of God was upon him? Few temptations are more dangerous or more fatal to young men than the temptation of sensuality, and none, if yielded to, will prove so decidedly ruinous to soul and body for time and eternity. The welfare of his entire future was suspended upon the decision of a moment. Joseph calmly cast his eyes to heaven for help, slipped off his loose outer garment, leaving it in the hand of the tempter, and while his eye was lighted with determined resolve in the place of unholy passion, he exclaimed, "How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" True religion extends to all the thoughts of the mind, penetrating to all the secret thoughts of the heart, to all the motives of action, to the object and direction of the affections, to the whole framework of our lives. "Thou God seest me" will be the watchword, the guard of the life. But Joseph was a Christian. He entered into the troubles of his fellow prisoners. He was cheerful, for he was a Christian gentleman. God was preparing him under this discipline for a situation of great responsibility, honor, and usefulness, and he was willing to learn. The lessons the Lord would teach him. inner character revealed in actions. There's a Bible verse that says, by their fruits you shall know them. And it is very much about, yes, words are good and people can say things, but by their fruits, by their actions, you will truly know them. Do they actually act and be the way they say they are? Some say they're Christians and it doesn't really show. And I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. I would call myself a Christian, but maybe some of my actions might say otherwise. Joseph kept his integrity in all the temptations he had to face. That was with his brothers, being sold to Potiphar, Potiphar's wife, being in the prison. And then when he was dealing with Pharaoh, and then when he was dealing with the whole of Egypt, he still kept his integrity. Few temptations are more dangerous or more fatal to young men than the temptation of sensuality, and none, if yielded to, will prove so decidedly ruinous to soul and body for time and eternity. The temptations that come our way. The devil knows what to tempt us with. He knows where our weaknesses are. He's known us since we're in the womb, and before that, he knew the weaknesses of our parents. And if you know about generational curses, you'll also know you pick up these same traits and you carry them with you as well that you had, that the parents had, and their parents had. There's commonalities coming all the way through the generations. Our job, yours and mine, is to recognize the problems in our characters and to make them right. Me first. To make them right and to wake up tomorrow ready to face them head on and say no. In the name of Jesus, the Christ of Nazareth, no, you are no longer welcome in my life. And then my inner character should be better through my actions. I pray yours will be the same.